Right, we're going to talk Everton for the next few minutes, and I'm delighted to say that Paul Crewe joins us from the Falcon Blues on the line. Good afternoon to you, Paul. Good to talk to you today.
Good afternoon, Paul. It's always good to talk to you, mate.
It is, mate. Well, listen, it's good to talk to you. It's a shame you couldn't make it into the studio today. I was hoping to be able to talk to you face-to-face this afternoon, but we'll bear with the telephone line for this afternoon. And I just wanted to get your thoughts, first of all, Paul, because, we've been saying on this programme now for a few weeks that Everton have enjoyed a really bright start to the season. I just wonder, after that defeat against Spurs last weekend, whether the optimism is beginning to fade slightly. So how do you assess, first of all, Paul, where Everton are right now?
Well, it hasn't diminished my optimism, to be honest, because I still think Everton played all right that day. They had a chance to go 1-0 up when Beto was like Bambi on ice, and then Jax had a chance. Their goalkeeper had a great game. He did have a tremendous game. I'm one of the people who think that our goals should have stood as well, because to me, if he's offside, which Pawson said and then stuttered, he's behind the goalkeeper, so he's not interfering with play. If it's a foul, it's the slightest infringement. And also, what was the difference with their goals? Like, there was pushes on Pickford. Now, I think they all should have counted, but yeah, it wasn't a 3-0 game. Spurs just took the chances, and that's unfortunately what we've not been doing. Whether you can say we've been a bit unlucky, the strikers aren't good enough, that's for other people to decide, really. But it's quite clear Everton need the striker in, need the right back in. But they are creating a lot more chances. And like I said to you earlier, it's a lot better football than it was in the last few years. So that doesn't diminish my optimism.
I got to say, it's a big call to say you thought the goal should have stood, because I think even Moisey said after the game that it was offside. But do you know what? I respect your decision on that, Paul, very much so. But you're right about, the concern by Evertonians at the lack of a striker. I mean, let's just talk about Beto for a minute or two. And to give him some credit, to be fair to Beto, he does work really hard, doesn't he? But ultimately, the end result, it's just not there, is it?
Yeah, he does work hard, but you know what, Paul? I work hard, you work hard. Doesn't mean we should play up front for Everton. And he's been a bit unlucky as well. Like, he was unlucky with the overhead and stuff, but his first touch isn't great. And I know he had that little purple patch after January when Moyes came in last season, but Everton are playing a lot different style now, you know what I mean? We've got better creative options with Jack and Dewsbury all, and obviously the way we play. You can see that Beto's kind of used to balls over the top or chasing down. So he's probably not used to, like, you can see sometimes Jack is waiting for players to make runs and it's not really working out. But, yeah, don't get me wrong, he works hard and he does try, but I don't know. I think this what I keep saying is, if Richarlison was up front in that side, he'd be burying those chances like the one against City in particular. And I don't know, maybe might be an unpopular opinion. People might not agree with me, but maybe it's time to give Barry a couple of games in the team. I know he's young and he might not be ready yet. I also heard people saying try and die up front, or someone had a good shout saying Alcaraz. He used to play up front for Southampton. But then, obviously, you'd have the other side, and if you did play and die or Alcaraz, then that doesn't it's not much of a boost of confidence for Beto and Barry.
It's an intriguing one, isn't it, with Tieno Barry, because many say, and I tend to agree, that he hasn't yet adjusted, has he, to the pace of the Premier League? No. Because, let's face it, this is, after all, just his second campaign in a top European league. And maybe it's just going to take a little bit of time for Barry just to lift his game.
It is, but I also think he played quite well against Brighton. And then for the League Cup game, Beto got brought in, he scored. Some was probably thought, well, can't drop him. And then Beto again scored against Wolves in the league. So I think he was a bit unlucky in that side of it. But I remember against Palace, he had a chance. If that goes in, are people still saying, get rid of him and all this? But don't get me wrong, social media, people can overreact as well. But I agree, he's a young player. He needs time. Give him this season to bed in. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. He might not be good, but at least that he's 22, he can get sold. You know what I mean? It's not like we're taking players on the last contract.
And I think, in terms of getting a striker to come in January, because a lot of Evertonians clearly saying that's what they want to see happen. Despite there being more money available now after the change of ownership and the Friedkin Group and whatever, it isn't easy, is it, Paul, to bring in a world-class striker, in particular if a striker maybe doesn't want to join a club that can't guarantee European football?
No, it's not easy at all. And look at Newcastle. Newcastle were trying to find a replacement for Isaac all summer. Now, they got one eventually, but they had Champions League football and they couldn't find a striker for the best part of 2 or 3 months. And like you said, it's football's changed, hasn't it? You don't have as many great goal scorers. Who can you think of now, really? Haaland, maybe some of the ones at Real Madrid and Barcelona, but, long gone are the days where you had like the likes of Alan Shearer, Drogba, Thierry Henry, Van Nistelrooy, could go on and on. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Duncan Ferguson, Kevin Campbell, Robbie Fowler. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot more strikers, and I don't know whether that's just the way football has changed, and the fact that there's one up front now, that's it. And you get number 10. A lot of those players all played with a partner. You know what I mean? There was like, you've got like the famous York and Cole and stuff like that. Some of those players might have struggled playing up front on their own because it's not really their game. And maybe this is an unpopular opinion. I preferred football back then when it was 4-4-2 and it was less tippy-tap and passing around. It was more tackling allowed and stuff like that.
Well, you know what? It's a good point you make. And, when we look at Everton right now, it's easy to look at the doom and gloom, the striker, Jared Branthwaite's going to be out for longer as well. But let's just talk about Iliman Ndiaye, shall we? Because, he was absolutely superb, wasn't he, against City and also Spurs, as indeed was Jack Grealish as well. And I think with Ndiaye, he's becoming a player that is going to, first of all, attract a lot of interest, isn't he, from other clubs as time goes by?
Yeah, definitely. And I know people are already worried about that. Are we going to be able to keep hold of him and stuff like that? He's playing out of his skin. He's playing great. That's one of the reasons I don't want him to go up front, because then you're going to lose the attacking threat. Because, as I say, we are taking chances. I would be open to see Alcaraz up front just because I think he's got an eye for goal. You remember the goal against Newcastle last season. He's decent in the air as well. And he scored past Liverpool when he was playing up front for Southampton. And speaking of Liverpool, I just want to say a big congratulations to Arne Slot for becoming the first Liverpool manager since 1959 to lose to 5 British teams in a row. Congratulations, Arne, and keep up the great work.
Let's talk about Sunderland, shall we? Monday night, tough game that's going to be. How do you see this one playing out, Paul?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I'm going myself. We're leaving from the Falcon at 2:30. Look, they're flying, and it's not just the result last weekend against Sunderland, against Chelsea, sorry. They've been playing well all season, and, confidence is high. I'm excited just because I haven't been to the stadium like since Jelavic scored the winner in the quarterfinals, and I think that was in 2012, so I'm looking forward to seeing the ground, but it's going to be a tough game. But sometimes I think David Moyes is suited to playing away games because, look at last season, we got some great results. We got wins away to Brighton and Newcastle, and they were a lot higher up the league, so yes, they're doing well, but we've got to go into it with a bit of confidence, knowing that we have been playing well. And sometimes I keep saying this, we're going to batter the team one week. Like, we take a lot of chances. One week it's all going to gel, like we did against that Brighton game when we won 5-1. So, I'm going in with optimism. I want to win, because we need a win. We haven't won, I think, in 6 or 7 games.
Well, this is it. And, of course, David Moyes tomorrow will be back at the club that he managed some 9 years ago. In terms of the team news, David Moyes has confirmed that Nathan Patterson's had a small procedure on his groin. He's not going to be available Monday night for the match, but otherwise everybody else should be okay. So we'll see what happens. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Really, really tough game for Everton away at Sunderland on Monday night. I just want to mention tomorrow as well, Paul, because obviously you represent the Falcon, being the Falcon Blues, and you've got Jimmy Martin with you tomorrow. Everton's beloved former kitman is going to be at the Falcon, I think, from about 3 o'clock tomorrow. Just tell us a little bit more about that.
That's right, yeah. Jimmy Martin's doing an afternoon. It starts at 3 p.m. It's only £5 a ticket. You can get it on falconbluesbigcartel.com or just come in the pub and get one. But if you've never seen Jimmy before, he's hilarious. He's got stories about Howard Kendall. He's got stories about, legends like Duncan Ferguson, Kevin Campbell, and even the current squad like Pickford, and even on our poster it's got Richarlison crying when he's next to Jimmy Martin when he's leaving. Like, he's very beloved by everyone at Everton. He used to be Howard Kendall's coach driver as well. He's got some good stories about that. But it's always a fun afternoon or evening at the Falcon for these when we have an ex-player on or someone affiliated with Everton. So if you're around and it's only a £5, come down, and we've got loads of things to raffle off, sign merchandise and whatnot, and it's always a laugh as well.
And just for those who don't know, Paul, just tell us where the Falcon is.
It's on Bewley Drive in Kirby, and it's in South Dean to Hollywood of Kirby. It's on Bewley Drive. That's Beverly Hills of Kirby. Yeah, it's a lovely pub. Not just for Evertonians as well. We allow Liverpool fans in as well. But it's a very welcoming family pub.
Excellent. All right. Well, listen, Paul, it's been really good to talk to you. I'm going to leave it for there this afternoon. The quality of the phone line's not brilliant. We've heard what you've said, but we'll get you back into the studio on a Saturday in the next few weeks, and we'll talk in more detail, all being well.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Paul.
There you go. That's Paul Crewe from the Falcon Blues talking to us on Liverpool Live this afternoon. We'll be talking